Drive 58 miles southeast of Anchorage, and the road stops at the base of a mountain. To go any further, you have to drive through a dark, claustrophobic 2.5-mile hole in the rock, the longest combined rail and highway tunnel in North America. When you finally burst back into daylight, you're at the edge of Prince William Sound. This is Whittier, Alaska, an isolated community home to exactly 272 people. You won't find a typical neighborhood here. Instead, almost the entire population lives inside one massive 14-story building known as the Begich Towers. Inside, it operates like a vertical town. The local police station is a one-room unit on the first floor, and the town's students attend classes via an underground tunnel, reaching school without ever stepping foot outside. Surrounded by the pristine Chugach National Forest, this dense skyscraper-style layout feels completely out of place. Why build vertically when there is so much room to expand? The architecture is a relic of World War II. The United States Army needed a secure entrance for moving troops into the territory, and they found a solution in a portage route long used by the native Chugach people, a passage perfectly shielded by the surrounding mountains. In 1943, the Army built a secret port called Camp Sullivan. It began as a sprawling network of Quonset huts dotting the frozen landscape. By the Cold War, the mission required a permanent year-round presence. Housing civil servants and their families in this environment meant finding a way to combat the freezing isolation. To solve the housing crisis, the Army built at an enormous scale, completing the Buckner Building in 1953 and the 14-story Hodge Building in 1957. These were the two largest structures in Alaska, designed to consolidate an entire military population into a single climate-controlled footprint. This high-density design served a specific tactical purpose. It was a logical engineering solution to keep personnel alive and functioning through the harsh reality of the Alaskan wilderness. Operational needs eventually shifted. In 1960, the Army deactivated the port and abandoned the facility, leaving these concrete monoliths behind. 4 years later, the region faced a severe test. On March 27, 1964, the Good Friday earthquake struck. It measured 9.2 on the moment magnitude scale, making it the largest earthquake ever recorded in United States history. The seismic shift triggered a 43-foot tsunami that barreled directly into Whittier's coastline. The wave killed 13 people and caused over $10 million in damages. It tossed boats and cars inland, scattering them among the splintered debris at the base of the mountains. The damaged Buckner Building was left to decay, but the Hodge Building survived structurally. It was eventually repurposed into the civilian Begich Towers condominium. The disaster stripped away the original military infrastructure, leaving the most resilient structure for the remaining residents to claim as their own. For decades, the town remained cut off, accessible only by boat, rail, or plane. The isolation broke in the year 2000, when the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel opened to public highway traffic. Suddenly, cruise ships and tourists began flooding into the town. With a highway connecting them to the rest of Alaska, the residents now have the freedom to leave or build outward, and yet they stay inside the tower. The climate data explains the choice. While the average American city sees 38 inches of rain annually, Whittier is hammered by an average of 197 inches. This happens because the town sits at the northern tip of the Tongass, the world's northernmost temperate rainforest. In winter, that precipitation becomes nearly 270 inches of snow. When snowbanks reach the rooftops of standalone houses, traditional suburban living becomes a grueling daily struggle. The Begich Towers persists today as an environmental fortress. On the edge of the world, surviving these extremes demands that a community stays clustered together under a single roof.